So hello YouTube friends, today's Saturday, although all the days are pretty similar, aren't they? They all kind of run into one another in a samey kind of way. But today then, I've finished all the quilting and the binding for this Bring Me Sunshine quilt, and all I need to do now is stitch the binding down. And I did that while I was finishing up listening to an audiobook this morning. So I was in this other world created by one of my favourite authors on Audible, because, you know, obviously I'm busy doing something else. I'm knitting this, look at this lilac dishcloth, let's call it lilac. It's nearly halfway, I suppose. And I'm doing this new edge thing that Judy told me about yesterday. I haven't done much of it, but it's coming along really well. So today then I've done, I was up quite early because it's quite light in the mornings now. We're now at that equal day length, equal night, equal day. 21st of March, which is what I always think of as the equinox, although I think I've seen a few things here and there where people have been saying it was yesterday or the day before. I don't really mind. Today will do fine for me, 21st of March, first day of spring. So I was outside today trying to round up some hens. Now there's a bit of a problem on the farm here because my hens are all over the place. I can't keep them in anywhere. But there are some other hens on the farm that keep getting mixed up with mine. Oh. And so I was wandering around today with a hen under my arm, trying to work out whether it was one of mine or one of my next door neighbours. And my next door neighbour's moved house, but he hasn't taken his hens with him. And so I do appear to be responsible for those hens at the same time as mine. Which is a shame, really, because I don't want them. That's a nuisance. Anyway, I had a long walk around the farm trying to find hens. Some were mine, some weren't. I've got to come up with a solution before the garden starts to become growing things. I have to. It's a puzzle though. Now, I was watching Arne and Carlos last night. They're in quarantine in Norway. In the north of Norway somewhere. And I've only recently started watching their channel, and they're amazing knitters, and I'm discovering about them that they travel all over the world doing knitting knitting groups and knitting tutorials, knitting everything. Got a website, all of that. And I'm absolutely fascinated watching them knit, because as you can see, I'm knitting this. Now, my mum taught me to knit, and I knit how she taught me, which is by throwing the yarn. This is called throwing it, I think, around the needle. It's quite cumbersome. You have to let go of the yarn, of the needle, and I'm quite quick with it. It's not slow, but it looks more cumbersome than knitting it in the continental way, or the way that I'm going to try. Watch. So if I put let's get in a bit close. If I put the wool around my finger like so, I'll tell you what, I'll just have to do the increase stitch. There's no way I can knit a continental stitch and increase at the same time. So let me do that throwing it, right? Because I knit two, increase in the third stitch, knit into the front and the back of that stitch. Right, let's try it. Okay, how are you going to be able to see this? So I'm going to put it round my finger like that. You all know what I'm doing if you're proper continental knitters. And then, so this hand's free now. All this hand is doing is manipulating the right hand needle. And what I'm going to try and do is dig that through there. It's actually so much more intuitive and so much better to knit like that. I'm going to try and do it. But when I see Arne, or is it Carlos, I don't know, one of them, doing a purl stitch, it looks so complicated. But this is just garter stitch. So I do it a bit tighter. It's a dishcloth, Kate. We're not to worry about how it looks. I think these dishcloths or face cloths that I'm knitting might be a good way for me to learn how to do this kind of knitting. Now, it feels okay at the moment. You know what I'm doing, don't you? So I'd like to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll in the upper right-hand corner. Are you, do you hold your, now, if you're left or right-handed, I can't account for any of that. But if you're a right-handed knitter, do you hold your working yarn in your right hand or your left hand? Now, I guess if you're a left-handed knitter, you could just reverse that and answer appropriately. Yeah, I'm going to ask that. I'm going to create a little poll, because look, I'm already looking for my yarn in that hand. So here it is. It's all like that, and all I'm doing with this hand is digging it through. Whoops-a-daisy, that didn't work because I've just kind of dropped a stitch there. Have we got anything better to do than to watch me try and learn a new way of knitting? Probably not at the moment, actually. I've been, apart from wandering around the farm for an hour this morning trying to find which hens belong to who, very unrewarding thing to do, I've been stitching, and then I can't talk and knit at the same time. So I'll stop. One of the jobs that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, I'll turn the camera around so that you can see. There, I'm going to tell you about this now. So I'll just pop this on the end of the video. Now, that's exactly what I hoped it would look like. I'm going to put a picture in here of what it used to look like when it had the big blue drawers and what I used to call the wall of crazy. Now, it's just polystyrene, exactly the same as my design board, but it's got this frame around it. It's just pushed in there. It's really not terribly well made, my part. I think the frame's lovely. But what I want it for is to pin things up there, not to create another wall of crazy, although I think I probably will, but just somewhere where I can put bits and pieces of papers as I need them. And also, I'm sure before too long, it'll look really pretty with lots of lovely pictures and notes and all my little bits and pieces that I need. So you just get there, please. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to enjoy my new green board. It won't stay like that for very long, but now I'm going to hoover up all these little bits of polystyrene that get absolutely everywhere when you cut polystyrene like I just have. So let's see what that looks like. So we should keep an eye on that now and just see how messy I managed to make it. I haven't stuck anything up on it yet except a couple of things in the corner. It'll not take long before that gets completely messy. So I'm going to carry on with my experiments in, Oh no, where am I? My experiments in yarn holding. Apparently it's easier to do 2-colour work when you've got this kind of system going. And I can see how, once I've got the rhythm of it, it'll actually be easier to do than waving my hands around all over the place. So look at the poll. If I can manage to work out how to do it, I'll pop it up there. And I hope you've had a good day. I've had quite a solitary day. I did have quite a long chat with the farmer. And then I had a lovely, lovely FaceTime with my brother and said hello to my dad, who lives a long way away. And I've been worrying about him. And so that was good. So that's my little bit of human contact today. I watched one tiny little bit of news, which was just really a repeat of yesterday's news. So that was nothing new. So that's fine. So I've had a mixed sort of day. I've made loads of progress with some things. I've got some outdoor time. This is kind of like what we need to be ticking off our list, isn't it? Eat well. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to have a risotto for my supper tonight, which is, I've got all the ingredients for that. So I'm going to make that. Eat well. Get outside for a bit of a walkabout and some fresh air if you can, if it's safe to do so wherever you live. Do something creative with your hands. I think that's the theme of everything that we're doing here. Make a connection with another human being. And that might be me here on the lime green sofa. I kind of imagine it being this colour, or it might be a real person who's on FaceTime or by text. I've also been in touch with some of the members of my family today via text. And so that's been really, really nice. So yeah, let's get a little list going. So I hope you're fine today. I really do. Stay cheerful. And I will see you soon. I've got a different kind of video coming tomorrow because on Sunday I often do just have a chat with you, but I've been chatting with you all week. So I've got a different kind of video coming tomorrow. I'm going to edit that one in the morning, put that one up for you tomorrow. So say hello to everybody in the comments down below. I'm really, really impressed with all the snacks that are turning up. Some very, very delicious snacks turning up. Just keep on passing them down the sofa. Don't worry about crumbs. The virtual food does not generate crumbs or spills. It's all fine. And I'll see you very soon. I'll see you with a different kind of video tomorrow and then back with these videos again soon because I'm enjoying them. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.